Okay, we're here at the Orcas Island Sustainability Fair with...
I'm Gulliver Rankin with the Eastsound Planning and Review Committee, and we're tasked with advising the County Council, the Planning Commission, and the Permitting Department with issues affecting Eastsound and the sub-area plan. Eastsound is Orcas Island's urban growth area and is slated to take 50% of our developing growth.
And what are the projects you're specifically working on?
Right now, this year's 2010 priorities, we're focusing on housing, the stormwater needs that the county has, the critical areas ordinance and how that's going to be affecting Eastsound, whether it should have reduced buffers because of the density or even possibly larger buffers because of the density there.
And you have one child or two?
I have one child that we're hoping to grow up on this beautiful island, and part of my reason for putting in the volunteer commitment is to be able to maintain the quality of life that we all cherish here.
And so you spend a lot of hours a week going to meetings, I assume?
You don't want to know.
That's great community spirit. So let's tackle some of those one at a time, what you were listing of the projects, something you want to tell us.
Yeah, so today we're looking to get comments on, parking in Eastsound, what we could do to improve parking in the Eastsound, the housing, the difficulties that people have with housing, and what we might be able to do in terms of some of our incentives to create more affordable housing, more affordable rentals. We've got the stormwater issue, which is large on everyone's agenda right now, with how to pay for the stormwater. And everyone's small contribution adds up, but we're not able to actually have everyone on a piece-by-piece basis contribute to that. So some of the funding solutions we're going to need to find for those larger community-type systems that we need.
What do you think they are? If you could have it your way, how do you think that would be funded?
Well, a development fee is certainly going to be necessary, but what really has to happen at this point is to have a larger bond or some sort of government subsidy and grant that would be able to come in and help us put the infrastructure in before the development. Right now, a developer is required to provide for their own stormwater, which is a much larger cost to any project than it would be if that was shared from a regional system. If the county was putting in the stormwater, it would be quite a bit less. And where that really starts to hit home is the affordable housing projects that are having an added cost. I think Opal had said there was 2 housing projects, 2 houses worth of funds that had to be spent on stormwater, where the county was unable to take the regional system and apply it to their projects. So we're looking for creative solutions from the citizens to get past our financial difficulties here.
So if somebody has a good idea that they want to send to you, because that's what you do, how would they do that?
Yes, they can contact us at the Yahoo account for Eastsound Planning Review Committee, and that's abbreviated as ESPLR Review, RECO, at yahoo.com, and you can come to our meetings at 3 to 5 in the Senior Center. The first Thursday of every month is our open public meetings. The county website has all of our minutes and agendas posted on them, so that's a good source of information. And before you go, I'd love you to take a close-up of some of the changes that have just happened between '76 and 2003, and there's been quite a lot of development since 2003 that we don't have pictures of yet.
Okay, let's do that right now.
So we've compiled some aerial photographs that show the development in 1976 compared with the development in 2003. This is a blow-up of just the urban growth area and the downtown village core. So you can see that there's been quite a bit of change from the rural fields to the infrastructure that the island is needing now as it's growing. Planning and keeping the quality and the charm of Eastsound as this progresses is one of our challenges. And we have as our guide the Eastsound sub-area plan that has both design development standards to keep the traditional look of the old houses that have been converted into businesses. And that is Eastsound Planning Review Committee's task, is to be able to update that. And we're hoping that we can get some more community involvement as to how they want the town to look where we're going to address the issue of the extra cars coming in. Right now, there are 200 virtual parking credits that businesses have either paid into a fund for county works or been granted during easements, mainly for the Eastsound waterfront access plan. So there's 200 county parking places that were credited to businesses that do not exist right now, that it's the county's burden to find some place or an alternative of taking those car trips.
And I see here it says purpose, provide land use and development goals, policies and regulations specifically for the Eastsound planning area, and that you advise the planning department, the planning commission, and the council on land use and development matters. Do you feel as though the council and the planning commission and the planning department, that they're hearing you? Do you feel as though there's enough citizen voice with what you do that they truly take in what you're saying?
Mm-hmm. The support the Eastsound Planning Review Committee has gotten from the county has increased dramatically in the last couple of years. We have regular attendance by both of our Orcas Islands County Council representatives. We have a long-range planner from Community Development Planning and often a representative from Public Works dealing with our agenda items. So we're heard very well. The difficulty is in actually getting something accomplished, and a lot of our priorities are stuck in the county right now, waiting for them to act upon for us to then be able to take the next step. So right now we're doing a lot of community outreach. We're trying to get the citizens' involvement, and I think there could certainly be more citizen involvement. The difficulty in planning here is that there's been a lot of citizen involvement. We get a great plan and then it sits on the shelf for 3 to 5 years. By the time the plan's dusted off, it needs to be revised, and the people's passion that developed that plan has waned, and they're a little disheartened about going back and trying to start the process all over again. So we're trying to keep the process moving, carry the baton, and pass it seamlessly from the citizens back to the county, and now we're waiting to get the baton back so we can move things forward. I think that just rolling up our sleeves and getting a shovel and digging in and getting things done is one successful way to get something accomplished, but is frustrated by the fact that there's a lot of county and state requirements, and that most of this county's resources right now are directly driven by the response to Growth Management Act and what the state is required of us to do. So we're not being as proactive as we would all hope to be.
And so I hear a direct request to get people involved. A lot of people don't want to sit in meetings, but you certainly would love them to show up at meetings and show that they care. Send you emails, a phone call?
A phone call? Yes, we don't have a dedicated line right now. Our funding was cut this year. We need a minutes taker, but the county website is a wonderful source of information, and please think about coming to a meeting. Otherwise, you could try and give me a call. You can search that under Natural Home Builders at 376-6642.
And I heard someone say at the United Nations it's good to spend 20% of the time on the problem and 80% of the time on the solution, and I think that you fit in well with this 80% part. Thanks.
Well, thank you, and thanks for listening.